It's my pleasure to introduce the president of our Board of Trustees, Jeff Brent. He's a member of the class of 1977. He's in his third year as president of the board and his 15th year as a trustee. Won't you join me in welcoming him to the podium?
Nice and loud. Thank you all. Can everybody hear me? Yes. All right, good. As Chris said, I'm a class of 1977. Boys Latin's been in my blood, my entire family. My father graduated in 1944 and is a past president of the board, and my older brother graduated in 72. And he was also on the board, and my son spent 10 years here at Boys Latin campus. So it's pretty much been in my blood since I was born. And yet, one of the biggest things that I take away from my experience here is the friendships that I formed while at Boys Latin and the bonds that even to this day have stayed with me. Some of my closest friends today are Boys Latin graduates, not all in my own class. Some are a couple years ahead of me or a couple years behind me. And I hope you all don't take that for granted. You know, your experience here, I don't know how lucky you are to be here at Boys Latin. How many seventh grade, where's the seventh grade class right now? Yeah. Hi guys. So it was about 51 years ago today, or this week I should say, that I walked on this campus for the first time. And I can tell you the school didn't look anything like this or what it's about to look like. It was basically Williams Hall and a little annex, I guess. And the middle school and the upper school were all in the same building. And it was a time when the school was trying to grow and trying to find its footings, and we all bonded together. And to this day, some of my closest friends, as I mentioned before, were from that time period. But yet when I'm out in the community or I'm traveling around the country and I meet somebody from Boys Latin, there's always a special bond from that. On top of that, I think the faculty, the staff, the administration played a key role for me, and as they do for you all today. We've been through a tough couple of years, and everybody has really stood up and showed up for work. And Boys Latin has always been about the people. And what we're about to embark on here today is doing something for the school, but also for you, the people here. So I'm very excited to be here as we break ground for our new simultaneous construction project, the Boldly BL, and kick off the Boldly BL campaign, as you see on your yellow hats. I'm joined here by fellow trustees. First of all, Kyle Gore, who is the class of 1980 and the treasurer of the board, and the chairman, or co-chairman, excuse me, Santa, co-chairman of the Boldly BL campaign. I'm also joined by Duncan Smith, who, quite frankly, spent most of his adult life taking care of and supporting and helping guide BL to where it is today. He's a class of 73. He's a past president of the board. He's the chairman of the Building and Grounds Committee and an honorary chairman for the Boldly BL campaign. I'm also joined by some other board members here. I'm going to try to pick you out. If I miss anybody, raise your hand. But Jason Timmel, Santa Brooks, who's the co-chairperson of the campaign, Dick Bagby, who is the vice president of the board, Mark Moxley, Eileen, member of the board, Eileen Wilcox, who's also on the executive committee, and Amanda? Yeah, sorry. Hi, Amanda. How are you? I just recognize you behind the shades. Did I miss anybody? Anyway, I want to thank you all for being here. So I want to end with one thing that a friend of mine once said. There are only two kinds of men in the world, those that went to Boys Latin and those that wish they did. This is the greatest place to be. It's a terrific school. We're embarking on a huge campaign here. We're raising $22 million. I think we're 15 or 16 million right here now. The board has fully committed. Every board member has made a donation. We have 8 donors, I believe, that have given over $1 million. And that's enabled us to start this project before it's fully funded. So I hope you all take pride in what we're trying to accomplish here, and take pride in the fact that you're a Laker, and you're a Laker for life. And I hope I didn't miss any points there, Coach, but thank you all for having me, and I'll turn it over back to Chris.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for your comments. So, fellas, you look great in those yellow hats, and each of you is going to have a chance through the course of the next couple of days to put your name on our projects. We've got a wall in the Gelston Athletic Center that each of you will come through, and you'll have a chance to sign your name and your class year. This whole project, it's all about you. Behind me is our upper school complex. Down the hill is the Gelston Athletic Center, and our school, under the leadership of these trustees and our entire board, has been working on this project for almost 7 years. We identified the need to fully renovate the athletic center, all spaces, locker rooms, the fitness center, and we identified the need to renovate and add to our upper school, reimagining and designing a classroom building that would meet your needs now and into the future. You know, it was almost 20 years ago to the day that both the athletic center and the upper school opened in their current configurations. Since then, our school has grown by nearly 100 students. We've added all sorts of varsity teams that we never considered. Countless new courses and other programs have emerged. And what made all of this possible is the generosity of people like our trustees, who feel passionately about Boys Latin, who feel passionately about our outstanding faculty, and especially you, our spirited boys. Over the course of time, the school, as Mr. Brent said, has raised $16 million towards $22 million in our Boldly BL capital campaign. We were assisted by Carter and Company, led by alumnus and past president of our board, Bob Carter, class of '64, and most especially Mrs. Eileen Toohey, who's with us today. Ms. Toohey, raise your hand. Join me in thanking Ms. Toohey for all of her help. So at the heart of all of our efforts has always been you, our boys. So we gather today to ceremonially begin our construction, but more important, we gather today, fellas, to renew and reaffirm our commitment to you, to ensuring you have the most amazing, life-changing experience you could possibly have. So why do we even do a groundbreaking ceremony at all? I mean, we couldn't wait for you all to leave in June before we could bring in tractors and start busting stuff around here. The Hobbs wing is demolished. We're leveling the ground for our addition. But if you look back through history, when communities would begin a special project, you know, like somebody building a new castle or something, the whole community was invited to participate because it's important to the community as it recognizes that you are who and what's most important. These efforts, the $22 million that we'll raise, these efforts are all for you. You'll benefit from the fantastic new spaces and the additional resources that growing our endowment provides. So fellas, there is no greater force than being surrounded by people who know you, value you, and love you. That's family. That's the BL family. It's the BL family that's provided a foundation for you and the opportunities you have. The BL family that's galvanized to support our school at this most important time. And that same BL family will stick with you through thick and thin. We have for 179 years, and we're just getting started. So fellas, in the words of our school song, may we someday repay. Someday, too, it'll be your sons, and their sons, too, perhaps, who'll gather here and speak of good and great things done on your behalf. And you'll commit to doing the same for those future generations as these alumni have done. That's the power of our school. That's the power of the BL family. And we are so incredibly excited and grateful to launch the Boldly BL Capital Campaign. So with that, I'm going to invite Mr. Smith, Mr. Gore, and Mr. Brent to grab a shovel.
3, 2, 1.